First of all, hallelujah!
It is 4th and 26. McNabb is back. He's looking. He is firing, and it is caught by Freddie Mitchell.
And Pizarczyk fumbles the football. It's picked up by Herman Edwards. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Eagles. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Jackson takes it at the 35. Picks it up. Looks for running room. He's at the 40. He's at the 45. Midfield. Oh! He's going to go! The short back. Oh! I don't care if he's trying. He's running around. I mean, in the end zone. And there's no time. And the Eagles win.
Bring it back again.
He steps up his head and falls forward. And he fumbles the football and the Eagles have it. And it's recovered.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a hell yeah! E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Sundays for the Birds, the only podcast that makes every day feel like Sunday. We are here live tonight on this game day Thursday Philadelphia doubleheader. We got the Phillies in the World Series, and we got the Eagles taking on the Houston Texans tonight. Dare I say it's a double down Houston stare off. We got the Phillies against the Astros. We got the Eagles against the Texans. One team from Houston, obviously much better than the other. I am the mayor of John Street, joined by my two awesome co-hosts. That is one Jake Long and one Kyle Not So Sharp. Boys, how we doing tonight?
Doing well. Pumped, psyched for both games. I mean, I know the Eagles game isn't as big as the Phillies game, but it's still every game in the NFL is huge. You got to win them all, and hopefully we can go out and take care of business like we did Sunday. So I'm just hyped and ready to go. I've been waiting all day. Fortunately, my son got COVID, so he's staying at his mom's, which stinks because that's my watching buddy for the night. So hopefully my wife will come down and watch me yell at the two TVs all night.
There you go. Yeah, I got it all squared away, man. Phillies on the big TV. World Series, don't know how many more I'm going to get to see. And then the Eagles are going to be on the laptop, ready to fucking go. How about you, Kyle? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Like you said, two big games for Philly tonight. The Eagles game should be pretty straightforward. I mean, Texans are a terrible team. The Phillies, I mean, it's looking rough. I mean,
It's going to be a tough one tonight.
dude, getting no hit. Now you're coming off Verlander, who got popped in the first game. You know that's on his mind. I mean, it's a tough spot for the Phillies right now. It's a big game for him. Make or break right here. This game decides the series.
Yeah, definitely a mismatch. You got Verlander going against a bullpen game.
It was so pathetic last night. I mean, the bar was just completely emptied out by like the seventh inning.
Yeah.
It was just such a letdown.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we dive into tonight's game, I do want to just do a quick little recap. Nothing crazy. Nice, short, sweet, to the point. Eagles, Steelers. But before we do that, little housekeeping, guys. We do want to thank Vince for his time on the show here at Sundays for the Birds. We got a few things going on behind the scenes here, Old City Sports Network. Vince is still around. He's definitely still on the fan lot, and you may see him on a couple other shows moving forward. So appreciate and shout him out for his time here, and make sure you check out the fan lot with everything going on with the Phillies. Now, here we go. Eagles, Steelers. Last week, not a whole lot to say about the game. I think it went the way that it should have. Got a little, I don't want to say a little scary, but like I mentioned before, I think the second half defenses you need to pick it up a little bit here. Just allowing a little bit too much, allowing teams to not necessarily be back in the game, but allowing them to think they have a chance at getting back in the game.
Yeah, I don't think they ever had a chance last week. They only gave up 3 points in the second half, so I can't be mad at anyone last week. Maybe Brandon Graham, that's it for saying hut on the line and getting called for an atrocious penalty. So
Yeah, he beat himself up enough for that, though.
He did. So that would be my only flaw with the game, really. I mean, every aspect of the game, we just pounded them. And the one thing I said last week on the show is to avoid Mika Fitzpatrick, and Hurts said, "Fuck that, I'm
Went
throwing
right
over
at
top
him.
of this motherfucker." And AJ Brown said, "I'm going to go and catch it." I mean, he took that one right out of Mika's hands. Mika went jumping for it, and he just grabbed it. And
That was a
the best
bad play by
thing he had
Minka.
to do.
Minka went for the pick rather than just the deflection.
Yep, just
Good
breaking
play
it up.
by Brown, bad play by Minka. AJ
Right.
just dominated all day. Absolutely.
Yep.
So I guess AJ Brown's our dog of the game from the Eagles Steelers game.
100%.
3 tutties and 150 yards. I don't know how you
Yeah,
don't give it to him.
on 6 catches. So 50% of his catches are, and he could have had more. He dropped a slant that probably would have been a touchdown.
Yeah,
And then he got
yep.
caught in the open field, which would have been another touchdown. So he's just fun to watch. I love it.
And obviously, dog of the game, I agree, is going to go to AJ Brown, 3 tutties, 150 yards. But just once again, give props to Hurts. I mean, all 3 of those touchdowns were right on a dot.
Yeah, beautiful
Especially the second one was over a shoulder, short side of the end zone, right on the sideline. Like absolutely perfect throw, beautiful placement. So I just want to give your boys, Jalen Hurts, some props for that.
Told you, buddy. I told you.
Hey, wait, let's wait for the told you so till the playoffs come.
Nope.
Big games
Nope.
that
I'm
matter.
taking a victory lap all fucking season.
I don't doubt that.
You know me.
It's 8 games. Let's hold off.
Absolutely. You guys got anything else on the Steelers game before we move on to tonight's game?
Nope, just
Yeah.
thank you for making it an easy game for me. Hanging out with Steelers fans during tailgate and in the stands. It was fun. By the end of, by the 35th point, I was asking all the Steelers fans to sing the fight song with me. I was like, you guys got to know it by now. You heard it all day.
Wait, your buddy was a Steelers fan?
Yeah, I had like 4 buddies with me that were Steelers fans, and then my son and my 2 buddies were Eagles fans. So it was like 4 and 4. And then there was a couple others. Small. There wasn't as many as I expected, but I mean, when your team is that bad, I don't blame you for not wanting to dish out that kind of money to go see them get just absolutely manhandled.
Absolutely.
Year.
Samantha Lynn checking in over on Facebook says, "Go Birds." Absolutely. Go Birds. All right, guys, let's dive into tonight here. We're trying to make it quick here. Eagles, Houston. We obviously got World Series and we got a game to watch here coming up in about an hour. So we don't want to keep you guys around any longer than you want to be here. So with that being said, let's just roll right into it, guys. Keys to the game. We all got 3. Jake, you want to lead us off here? Your 3 keys to the game?
Just the main one, again, as we've been doing all year, don't turn the ball over and force turnovers, the obvious one. Run the ball a lot. This team is one of the worst tackling teams in the league. You have a shifty back like Miles Sanders. And I think if they want to run screens, wide receiver screens, tight end screens, this is the game to do it because, like I said, they're going to miss tackles. And third key is get Dallas Goedert involved more often. I think the middle of the field is going to be wide open for them. Houston plays a lot of, 2 safety, soft shell, bend but don't break defense. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of open spots in the zones for Dallas Goedert to sit down in. So get him the ball, get him early, and feed Miles Sanders. And I think it should be an easy win.
Right on. Kyle, what do you got? 3 keys to the game.
So again, take advantage of the porous defense, like Jake said. Houston's 32nd in tackling, 100%. You got to take advantage of that. But they're a terrible run defense, and they need to establish the run a little bit. But I want to see them just give it to Hurts. Let him get all the touchdown opportunities he can. Like he's an MVP candidate, like a top 3 guy 8 weeks into the year. And this is a matchup versus a terrible team that you should have, just like last week, do whatever you want. So when you're in short, give him that short rushing touchdown. Get him a couple extra tutties. Boost his odds for the MVP. Support your guy. So I want to see them get Hurts some, easy scores. And so, boost his stats a little bit. And another thing is Dameon Pierce, the running back for the Texans. 4th rounder out of Florida. He's been a great find for them. Great player. He is their offense. Brandon Cooks is out. They got nothing else at wide receiver, nothing else at tight end. He's the focal point of the offense. You stop him, and that's it for them. So really contain Dameon Pierce. And that's really, I think, the keys to the game. And it should go just like last week. They're 35-13 score.
Yep. Yeah, I think they said I heard on the radio today that their second best receiver is also out. So their combined
Nico
receivers,
Collins, that is
yeah,
correct. He's out. Yes.
combined receivers have 14 catches on the year on
Yeah, I mean,
Houston.
dude, they got Chris Moore, Philip Dorsett. Like they got
Yeah,
a bunch of scrubs out
I'm
there. Like they
hoping to see
shouldn't.
backups in the second half, and then I can just be nervous about the Phillies game for the rest of the night. So get the backups in there, mid third quarter, and let's move on to next week.
Maybe a little N'Kobe
Absolutely.
Dean.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Breakout game.
Sure.
Get them on the field.
So I think there's a common theme here, right? We all want to see them run the ball. This is a Houston team that's allowing an average of 160 yards per game on the ground. But I also agree with what Jake said here. You also want to test the screen game as well. It's really an extension of your run game. So if you can be effective with the screens end as well on the ground, I think that's a recipe for success. Additionally, I'd like to see them get to Davis Mills early. Davis, nothing but neck. Mills, this kid's going to get fucking rattled easy. He's in, I guess you could call it a sophomore slump, but with what he's got down there, you can't really expect too much out of him. But get to this young quarterback early. We saw them struggle to get to Kenny Pickett last week, another young quarterback. There's some inexperience there at the quarterback position. Maybe he'll hold on to the ball a little bit too long. Their offensive line leaves a lot to be desired. I think the defensive line needs to feast here. And honestly, I'd like to see a heavy dose of blitzes. We all mentioned it. We're not scared of their weapons or lack thereof. So I think you can get a little bit more aggressive. I think you can, send a safety in on a blitz. Hell, even throw a corner blitz in there. I'd like to see what Darius Slay could do coming off of the edge there. Fake the press coverage and then come in with a free run at the quarterback. I'd love to see what Slay could do in that situation. But just ultimately be aggressive, I think, is what it comes down to for me.
What's your guys' thoughts on as you put him, long neck Davis Mills?
Nothing but neck.
Obviously, I know he's going to struggle tonight. He doesn't have any weapons out there, but overall, I don't really know I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he actually has some potential. Like you said, he's been surrounded by absolute dog shit there, so it's really tough to get a true evaluation. But I think he has some promise. I was kind of curious in your guys' thoughts on him as a player.
Yeah, I don't think he's the worst quarterback in the league, but he literally has nobody around him. Absolutely nothing. And he also has a defensive-minded head coach. So it's like he's put in a lose-lose situation. Last year, he went off, had a decent year, but this year, there's absolutely – Damian Pierce, that's their offense pretty much.
Yeah. So do you think he has any potential to be a starter in the league, for the longer amount of time?
Maybe if Washington calls him or something.
Washington.
Continue their quarterback carousel.
Well, what about Indy? There's another one. I think quarterbacks.
I think next year, if Texans, obviously they're still gonna be bad, but if a team has a bad injury to quarterback, say training camp, then maybe a team looks at Houston and say, hey, I'll give you a second, third, or a third round pick for this guy, and he can go start somewhere else. But I just think it's gonna have to take a season-end injury to a quarterback in the offseason or early in the season.
Yeah, kind of be like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type of guy, borderline starter, backup, plays half the team.
And who was it? Sam Bradford when we traded him.
Yeah, Sam Bradford.
Teddy Bridgewater got injured for the Vikings, and we got a first-rounder for him because we had Wentz waiting. We didn't expect him to start his rookie year, and then that injury happened to Teddy Bridgewater, so they made a trade. That's how I would see it would go down for Davis Mills if he gets a shot somewhere else.
Absolutely. Now Davis Mills, well, for one, he definitely doesn't scare me, but I think he's proven to be an NFL talent. I don't know if he's going to hang on as a starter or not. You mentioned the Ryan Fitzpatrick role. I think that's possible. But at this point, I kind of feel like there's a surplus of those guys in the league right now with guys like Teddy Bridgewater and Geno Smith and these guys that continue to be journeymen and spot starters and stopgaps and things of that nature. So I think as we get closer and closer to the draft this year, you're going to start to see, what teams are really looking for quarterbacks. But you're also going to see, what kind of young guys are coming out this year. And, maybe Davis Mills is a guy that you bring in like a Mitch Trubisky role to kind of take the first couple of games, let the young guy get acclimated to the offense. But I do feel that he does have a role in this league.
All right, that's probably fair. And who has the longer neck, Mike Glennon or Davis Mills?
It's Glennon.
Oh, it's Glennon by a mile.
That thing grows
okay.
a half an inch every week, I swear.
Oh, they look like they could be brothers or something.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, you guys want to do predictions real quick? Game score? I know, Kyle, you already gave yours. What, 35-14?
Yeah, I mean, similar to last week. I'll go 35. I don't know, 2 touchdowns seems like a hard task. So I'll go 31-13.
All right. Jake, what do you got? Final score prediction for tonight?
I usually never like to make big predictions, but I think the Eagles win 38-10. I feel like there's just too much. And I feel like the stadium's going to be half empty, and the half that's going to be filled is going to be Eagles fans. Because, if you're Houston, what are you going to do? Watch the Texans or watch your team in the World Series? I understand Eagles fans have the Phillies too, but we also have a great football team. So it's like, it's hit or miss.
I think you have your diehard football fans that they're rooting for the Phillies, but they're football first. So they're
that's how I am. Yeah, like me personally tonight, I'll still have the Eagles on the big screen, and I'll have the Phillies on my 32-inch right next to the big screen. And then halftime, I'll put the Phillies on the big screen. Or if it's like a bases loaded situation, big time play situation, then I'll probably switch it over to Phillies on the big screen. But other than that, football is more fun to watch than baseball. So that's going to be on the big screen. But yeah, I think the Eagles handle business tonight and handle it fairly easy.
Right on. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Jake. I know that, we've had some pretty decisive victories, but I don't think we've really come and had a full-blown blowout yet.
Last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a blowout.
It was a blowout, but I'm thinking like, I don't know. I want to see some college numbers out of this team. Some astronomical
pretty
scores.
lofty.
Yeah, it's high expectations.
Yeah, that's really high expectations. Let me ask you guys this.
It is, but you know what? I think we're going to take the ball away. I think we're going to have a lot of short fields, and I think Houston just cannot hang with us. I would love to see the Eagles hang 40. I think they can put up 42 tonight.
Well, if they don't let their foot off the gas, I think they're absolutely capable of that. But I think that's the biggest problem is letting their foot off the gas.
I got Eagles 42, Texans 13.
I'll love that too.
Is there any chance for maybe a little bit of a letdown game here? Philly's playing next door. Maybe the stadium's going to be a little less empty than it normally would be. Is there any chance that
the Phillies are home? So
the Phillies are home in this game.
I think it's going to be more of an Eagles.
This isn't at Lincoln.
No, this is in Houston.
For some reason, I thought they were both at Philly.
I think Jalen Hurts is going to want to ball out in front of his hometown. That's where he's from. He's from Houston. And then the Houston Astros had to use Hurts on Twitter last night. So I think that should be some extra motivation when they're talking shit on the Phillies, but including Hurts into it. They sent out a tweet. It was like, no hits. That hurts.
Oh, man.
So how we feeling, Astros fans, with a PH for feeling?
For some
That's
reason,
ridiculous.
For some reason, I thought I saw somewhere that it was like the first time the same teams have played in the same city for the World Series in football and Thursday Night Football. I thought I saw that.
It might be just the same teams against each other, not in the same city.
Oh,
okay.
I probably half read it and misread it. That's my
fault. If it was down at the link right now, that place would have been fucking absolutely wild today. The Phillies at the bank and then the Eagles at the link. And there would have been close to 200,000 people down there. It would have been absolutely mayhem.
Okay, yeah, I feel like it's a little bit of a less trap game than if they're at Houston. And still, they should roll them at Philly, but maybe just a little hesitancy there.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, you guys ready to roll on? We'll get some segments out of the way here. Start off Dog of the Week. And as always, Dog of the Week brought to you by our friends at Sterling Pig Brewing Company. I know you can still get it. It's still out there. The Orange Street Wheat's a great beer. I absolutely love it. Got a six-pack waiting for me upstairs now. Sterling Pig, check out the tap room out in Media. And also our friends at Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company right in the heart of Croydon, my hometown. 909 Ray Avenue. Check out their tap room as well. Great place to watch football. Even better place to drink ice cold beers. That's the Chamonix Creek Brewing Company, available anywhere fine beverages are sold. Guys, Dog of the Week predictions for tonight's game against Houston. Jake, start with you.
I'm going to go with Devontae Smith. So, like, the whole game plan of the Texans is going to be take away the run and take away A.J. Brown. Devontae had 5 catches last week, but it was only 23 yards. Those quick little patterns, just get that easy third down, or just getting open quick and then making the catch. I think today, like I was talking about Dallas Goedert earlier, that 15 to 20 yard range in their soft coverage is going to be open, and Devontae Smith's going to find a lot of hitch routes and a lot of sit down routes out in that area. Make a couple nice catches, maybe peel one off for like a 40-yard touchdown. So I expect a big game from the Slim Reaper.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that one there. And you kind of noticed a pattern this year. Every time A.J. Brown's had a huge game, Devontae comes back with with a big game of his own. Yep. So kind of look for that tonight as well. Kyle, who you got? Who you got for Dog of the Week, you think?
I'm going to go with Dallas Goedert. I keep hearing Jake specifically say, we got to get Dallas Goedert involved. He's involved. He's played great this year. He just really hasn't had that eruption game. A.J. Brown's had his. Sanders has had his. Devontae's had his. He's yet to have his, like, eruption game where he just absolutely goes off. But he's been solid all year. So eventually that game's coming. Why not tonight?
Yeah, he's third in receiving among tight ends, and I think almost the top in yards after the catch. So he is having a hell of a year. It's just like you said, it hasn't been that big, wow, multiple touchdown game, 85 to 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
But why not tonight in such a blowout game? I mean, eventually it's going to happen, right? That's going to be my guess.
No, I agree. I think Dallas does need to get involved. And Jake, you mentioned earlier they play that shell coverage, and there should be a lot of routes open underneath. So I think you can look for that. Goddard always seems to make himself a pretty readily available target for Hurts. So I think it's a good opportunity for him here tonight as well. Really, it's a great opportunity for the entire offense to feast. You guys kind of took all the easy ones on offense. I guess I'm going to go to the defensive side of the ball. Stay on brand, stay aggressive. I think today is going to be a big game for Fletcher Cox. I think with Jordan Davis being down, he's going to get a few more stabs, and I think he's going to feast on this subpar offensive line that Houston's putting out there tonight. And I think the new additions of Robert Quinn is definitely going to help kind of free some things up for him. He tends to draw some double teams away from the middle. So look for Fletcher Cox to have a big game up the middle tonight, particularly in the run game. You mentioned it earlier. Damon Pierce is going to be their entire offense. So I think it's going to be pretty predictable, and I think those guys in the middle there are going to have a great night stopping the run.
No doubt.
Not the sexy pick, but I think it's a good one.
Can't argue that. Someone's going to be a beast on defense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, you guys ready? Not so sharp picks of the week.
Throw.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar.
All right, not so sharp picks of the week. This is where we give you our not so sharp gambling advice for the week. Not so sharp picks of the week brought to you by our friends at Righteous Felon Beef Jerky. Make sure you check out Righteous Felon at their website, righteousfelon.com. Use that promo code OCSN for 15% off your entire order of the absolute best craft jerky in the business. I know I was a little banged up this morning, needed a little pick-me-up. First thing I did was grab a bag of Righteous Felon. Also brought to you by our friends at Fanatics. That's right, Old City Sports Network, Sundays for the Birds. Brought to you by Fanatics. Everything official. You need your fan gear. You need anything for your Philadelphia sports teams and beyond. Check out our friends at Fanatics. Link down in the description of this episode. And, of course, our friends at Norse Beards. That's Norse, Norse, beards.com. Promo code OCS gets you 25% off your entire order of all your beard care needs. You want to look like the Norse gods. You want to look like the mayor of John Street. You want to look like Jake Long. You want to look like, I guess you could want to look like Kyle. Use our friends at Norse Beards. Promo code OCS. Get you 25% off. And I'd be remiss if I didn't go to the namesake of this segment, one Kyle, Not So Sharp. What do you got? Gambling advice. Not So Sharp picks of the week.
So I'm on DraftKings tonight, not on FanDuel. And I got a 10-leg onslaught parlay. DraftKings is a really cool thing where on Thursday Night Football, that if you do 10 legs, then they double the payout bonus. So that's a really cool feature. So again, 10 legs, I'll kind of try to go through this quickly. I got Robert Quinn for 1 sack, Dallas Goedert, 49.5 yards receiving, A.J. Brown, 5 catches, A.J. Brown, 54.5 receiving yards, Miles Sanders, 74.5 rushing yards, Jalen Hurts, 200 yards passing, Eagles minus 6.5, Sanders and Goddard both for a touchdown. And then the last leg, the Texan leg, I got Philip Dorsett for over 20.5 rushing yards, or 20 receiving yards, excuse me. And that $50 bet doubles and pays $6,550 for a long shot, worth a sprinkle. And I like you said, it's double. So if it wasn't for that little bonus they added, it'd be worth half that, $3,000. So why not take that? That's why I'm on DraftKings over FanDuel tonight.
Nice.
No,
There's a lot going on, but it's a possibility. A lot of eagle legs on there, so
9 out of the 10.
Yep.
We're all calling for the blowout.
Right on, right on. Jake, what do you got here tonight? Not So Sharp picks of the week.
I just did a 3 game parlay on FanDuel. I got the Eagles minus 13.5. It's rare I take the Eagles, especially with that big of a spread, but I really have confidence in the team tonight. Miles Sanders over 76.5 yards, and we've been talking about him a lot. The show Dallas Goedert anytime touchdown score. $20 bet, win you $117. So not a bad little payout if you just want to. You need to throw $10 on it. It would be $60. So
there you
make it a
go.
little bit more fun, especially when it's a blowout. Then you're looking at everyone's stats, making sure you hit the overs or get a touchdown for your guy. So makes it a little more fun.
Absolutely. So I got a little 3-leg parlay going on here tonight. 4-leg parlay going on for tonight's game, Eagles and Houston. I got the Eagles to cover minus 13.5. I got Damon Pierce to score a touchdown. Again, he's their whole offense tonight. So I think he definitely scores a touchdown if they get that close to the end zone. I got Devontae Smith, anytime touchdown score. Like I mentioned earlier, every time A.J. Brown has a big game, it seems Devontae Smith follows it up with a big game of his own. And then I went to the alternate total points at over 31.5. Got a risk-free bet on that one, $10 to win $132. Odds on that one plus 1228.
Nice.
Then for the record, I feel really confident about that spread. I actually threw a nice little 50 spot, little Ulysses S. Grant action on the Eagles to cover tonight.
I'm more impressed that Ulysses S. Grant was on the $50 bill.
Yeah, right.
Like I wouldn't have known that. I just know.
Yeah, well, I gotta look up just to make sure. I agreed with him, but I was like, I hope he's right.
Did you look at that? Did you look at that before you said it, or you just throw it out there and hope it was right?
No, I knew that.
Oh, all right. Props to you for that, big.
Oh, dude, I'm full of stupid knowledge, and I hope that over the years, as we continue to do this show, I can impart some of my stupid knowledge and facts that nobody else seems to know onto you guys and our awesome audience.
All right, I'll take it. Take all the knowledge I can get, stupid or smart.
Yes, sir. All right, boys, it's almost game time here. I know we still got a little bit of time, but everybody wants to get settled in, get their snacks,
Janae,
beverages, and all that.
what channel it's on? It's on
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, but it's also in the Philly area on my PHL 17. On Xfinity HD, it's channel 807 for regular standard television. It's on channel 7. I know you guys in Oxford and stuff. I think you guys have Armstrong, so it might be channel 17 or something weird out there. So, yeah,
CW Philly, you said it was?
It's on my PHL 17 and Amazon Prime.
I think that's channel 17 where I'm at.
Yeah,
it's 17 down here also.
Yeah, I have Xfinity. It's channel 7. So
there we go. All right. You guys ready for final thoughts? We'll let everybody head out and get their beverages of choice.
Let's do it.
All right. Final thoughts brought to you by our friends at Lugaroo Custom Clothing. That's lugaroo.co. Make sure you use our friends up north of the border for all your custom clothing needs. That's lugaroo.co. Let our Canadian friends know that Sundays for the Birds and Old City Sports Network sent you. All right, guys, final thoughts. Jake, I'll let you lead us off here.
All right. Big night for Philly. We were 0 for 3 last night with the Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, all shit in the bed. So let's make up for it and kick Houston in the face twice tonight. Kick them in the face, then kick them in the nuts. Phillies go out, take care of business, help your bullpen out, get some runs early. The Phillies got to get runs early, and they can win this game. If we go down early, it's going to get ugly. Eagles, just do what you've been doing. Play your game. Knock them out. And to little Jake, my buddy, if you're home or at your mom's house right now watching, I know you love to watch the show. I love you. Wish you were here. He has COVID, so I'm trying to avoid spreading it between both houses. But I love you, buddy. Go Birds, go Phillies, and hope you're watching.
T's and P's to Jake, little Jake. Kyle, what do you got for us here tonight? Final thoughts?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Jalen Hurts for MVP. I don't know what it was at the beginning of the year, but the odds are plus 380 now. Dude, it's like he's right there with Josh Allen for it. Like, feature him, get him the award. Who doesn't like to see somebody from their team win the MVP? That'll be a big moment, not only for Philly, but dude, for him in his career, that'll really cement his place in the league. He doesn't have to worry about anything else, and then he can, if you win an MVP in your second year, like, dude, if Carson Wentz won the MVP, I really wonder how different his career trajectory would be if he didn't get injured and he won that MVP. I think he might still be the quarterback of Philly. That might be a hot take, but if Jalen Hurts wins the MVP, he's your guy for the next 10 years. So I think they should really try to get him that award.
All right, so Kyle, all I'm going to say is you have a track record with getting quarterbacks hurt by picking them to win gigantic awards. If you remember last year, you talked me into putting money onto our boy in Penn State, Sean Clifford. Remember that?
I do remember that.
And you had to be drunk as hell to put money on Sean Clifford anything. Unless
he was in the discussion for the Heisman.
Yep.
Kyle talked me into it. The odds were nice and long. And 2 weeks later,
he's
out for the season.
I do remember that. He was like plus like 15,000 beginning of the year. Going into that Iowa game, he was plus 4,000. And I was like, dude, this is the game. They'll cement it. They had no run game. He was the entire offense. I clicked it. For me at least, it was 1 week. It wasn't even 2 weeks. So maybe I talked you into it before, but it was literally that week I placed it, and then it was like it was that weekend. First quarter was going great. I was like, dude, his odds are going to be like 2,500 after this week, and then he got hurt. So
with that being said, say some prayers, a couple Hail Marys, and some extra knocks on wood over there is what I need from you. What I need from the Philly faithful that flew down to Houston for this game tonight, I need you to make Houston feel uncomfortable in their own house. I need you to make them feel like they're wearing them road white jerseys in their own house. I need you to make them feel like they have to fly home from their own house because we're so loud, it sounds like Philadelphia in there. Also, your fucking Philadelphia Phillies, like Jake said, punch them in the mouth twice tonight. Send Houston packing and crying all the way back to the Lone Star State. This is Philadelphia. We will win both games tonight, and I will win some money on FanDuel.
Speaking into existence.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But no, in all seriousness, guys, we can't appreciate everybody enough for rocking with us here live tonight. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube Live. Everybody checking in over on the audio side. We will catch you guys right back here next Thursday. Go Birds, go Phils, and of course, go Birds!
2-0 tonight. Let's go.